This is the story of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The most remarkable book, actually the most successful book, ever to come out of the greatest publishing company of Ursa Minor. More popular than the Celestial Home Care Omnibus, better selling than 53 More Things to Do in Zero Gravity, and more controversial than the Uran Kolufia's trilogy of philosophical blockbusters. Where God went wrong, some more of God's greatest mistakes, and who is this God person anyway? No, I ain't gonna listen to those guys, those books. The Hitchhiker's Guide has already supplanted the Encyclopedia Galactica as a standard repository whatever, of all knowledge and wisdom, because of two intellectual important reasons. First, it's slightly cheaper, and it has the words "Don't Panic" written in large, friendly letters on its cover. Of course, I don't see "Don't Panic" somewhere. Oh! Hey everyone! I see I've been reading this book, huh? Well, welcome for another multi-voice reviewer review. And yes, today I'm reviewing Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Actually, this is an ultimate book because Douglas Adams here, who wrote this book, he wrote about 5 stories. And this is an ultimate book where they put all the stories together into this one big book. And the difference in every story is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the restaurant, the end of the universe, life, the universe, and everything. So long, and thanks for all the fish, and mostly harmless. And of course, there's also a bonus story called Young Vogons Play It Safe. Whatever that means. Anyway, what can I say about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Actually, what can I say? This is a very interesting story, and it's really hilarious. And yes, this is another science fiction review. And as you can see here, I'm dressed up as my own personal Doctor Who look. I'm the Doctor. I'm a Time Lord. The reason why I like to dress up as Doctor Who when I'm reviewing Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, well, simple. Some of the guys who made Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy also made Doctor Who. Douglas Adams. Now, I know some of you are kind of upset over what I said about the controversial ones. Well, kind of shows out that Douglas Adams was an atheist, so. But I won't let that hold him because I prefer to enjoy the story and muscle through the blasphemies, just to enjoy the story. In order to enjoy it. I already muscled through South Park and Family Guy. And they're my guilty pleasures. Anyway, what new things have been happening lately? Let's see, new things happening in the world lately. The billionaire Donald Trump became president. And there's a new Mass Effect video game coming out. Mass Effect Andromeda. In case for those of you who haven't seen my review of Mass Effect, you should stop this video and go back and watch it. And for those of you who just want to stay, I've seen the animated movie, Paragon Point. It's not bad. But I'm not talking about Mass Effect or Donald Trump. I'm going to review to you Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You see, back then, in the mid-70s, science fiction comedy wasn't exactly a big deal at the time. I mean, you hardly ever find any science fictional comedies back then. The only one they made so far is about a group of astronauts, and they have a cleaning woman who always keep trying to clean their stations in zero gravity. So she's trying to keep herself balanced while she's floating and trying to clean the room. So Douglas Adams decided to write a hilarious science fictional comedy, and it is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And some of the people from BBC, that's the British Broadcasting Channel, they're the one who make all the British movies and shows. They loved the story so much that they decided to make a radio series. And they only made about 12 episodes of the radio series of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I listened to them on YouTube. They're very funny. Not bad. Not bad at all. And looking to no further, they have decided to make a TV show, a TV series of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That's right. I got the original series. The original series was made back in 1981. So I guess it was the late 70s when they made the radio series. The guy who did the narration as the Hitchhiker's book was Peter Jones. He also narrated for this series. And Simon Jones, no relationship to the narrator, he played Arthur Dent in the radio series, and therefore played Arthur Dent in the series here. Now, I know some of you are going to be thinking, what's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy all about? Well, I'm going to tell you. It all started when there was a guy who just all of a sudden got out of bed, and his name was Arthur Dent, and he was in his pajamas. While getting up early in the morning, putting on his robe, didn't change his clothes or anything, then all of a sudden discovered that there's a group of bulldozers who are planning to demolish his house, because they're going to make a bypass, a road bypass. So he tried to protest over to defending his home. And from out of nowhere, out comes his old friend. His name is Ford Prefect. And he starts telling Arthur that he's not from Guilford after all, but from a small planet. A small planet somewhere in the vicinity of Beetlejuice. And no, not It's Showtime Beetlejuice. I'm talking about the star called Beetlejuice on Orion's shoulders. That Beetlejuice. It turns out that Ford Prefect, he was from a planet somewhere in the vicinity of Beetlejuice, and he's also a field researcher for the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the book. He's a field researcher for the guide. And he knew a biggest news of all, and he has to tell Arthur about it. That Earth is going to be destroyed because there's a group of evil, well, not evil, but a group of aliens who are called Vogons who decided to destroy Earth so they can make a space bypass. So the only thing Ford Prefect can do is to save Arthur. It's the only thing he can do. The only thing he can do is just save Arthur. He cannot save the planet. So, as the Vogon ship was about ready to demolish the Earth, Ford grabs Arthur, holds up his electronic thumb device, and gets hitchhiked into the space while the Earth was destroyed. No one ever thought that in any science fictional story that they decided to destroy Earth and never save it. I mean, I know the Doctor from Doctor Who, he always saves the Earth. Except in that far future. But this time Earth has to be destroyed for a space bypass. Now, the Vogons, they're not evil at all. I mean, they don't have independent thoughts. They don't have ideas. They don't know how to read. They just run things. And they just destroyed Earth and made the Vogons kind of... So now, Arthur has to journey throughout the entire galaxy with Ford. And the Vogons gave him a choice. He either toss them off the ship out in deep space, or tell them some of his poetry. One thing you should learn about Vogons, you never ever listen to their poetry. They're ghastly. Ugh. Horrible. Anyway, after the captain told him his poetry, he decided to throw him out anyway. And as they were tossed out in space, they were picked up by another ship called the Starship Heart of Gold, owned by another Earthling, goes by the name of Trillian. Even though her full name is Tricia McMillan, but she preferred to be called Trillian. Now, one thing I gotta say about Tricia McMillan is that in the original story, Tricia McMillan was supposed to be a long, dark-haired, exotic-looking girl, like either she's either Arabian or Indian. But in the TV show, they made her blonde. Could they ever think about somebody else who would have been perfect to play Tricia McMillan, like Catherine Zeta-Jones? Of course, it was back in the 80s, so she must have been a little girl at the time, but surely should have a Catherine Zeta-Jones looking girl back then. Oh yeah, and the actress who played Tricia McMillan in this show, turns out that she was married to the guy who played the Fifth Doctor in Doctor Who. And he had a small part in this show, playing the alien pig who wants to be killed and eaten. And in case you want to know who the Fifth Doctor is, he was the one who dressed up in a cricket outfit. Peter Davison is his name. And now his daughter is married to David Tennant, my favorite Doctor from Doctor Who, the 10th one. Surprise, huh? Anyway, back to this story. Not only that Tricia McMillan is there, but there's also another guy from the planet, from the same planet as Ford is, Seyfod Beeblebrox. And who is Seyfod Beeblebrox, you say? He is a 3-armed, 2-headed president of the galaxy. But he is an idiot. I mean, he doesn't care about other people. All he ever cares about is his fame and his glory and his looks and how things are. He's very optimistic, but I mean, if there's trouble going on with him, he'll have a problem. But if there's trouble with other people, he's like, whatever. What an a-hole. Never did care much for Seyfod Beeblebrox. He's a show-off. And then the most famous character in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is, of course, Marvin. Oh, there's what he looks like right here. And who is Marvin the robot, you say? He's the manically depressed robot. You know, he always walks around going like, I want you all to know I'm feeling very depressed. Life. Don't talk to me about life. Of course, I have a problem with one thing. Most people call Marvin a paranoid robot. He's not paranoid, he's just depressed. I mean, here's the two difference between paranoid and depressed. Paranoid, you're all sad, trying to cry, seeing that there's nothing left in life. Always so sad and depressed about things. While paranoid, you're just uptight and wonder if somebody's after you or what. Who's that? What's that? That's the difference between paranoid and depressed. All in all, throughout their entire journey, this was a really interesting series they made so far. And of course it's BBC, so they didn't make them last long. Like Doctor Who was. Doctor Who lasts way longer than any other show I know. Dang winds. Anyway, any of you who ever go to YouTube or any other website where you can find TV shows, look up Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the TV series, and give it a watch. It's really, really good. And hilarious. Laugh your butt off. And then another thing happened. They have decided to make another Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Back in 2005. Same year I graduated from high school. And about 2005, it's about the same time when they made the new Doctor Who series. I know, some of you are saying, what is it with Doctor Who and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Well, there's a connection, duh. Anyway, had the DVD of the movie. And it was created by Touchstone. And here's one thing not many people know. Touchstone is a part of Disney. Anyway, I have to say this movie is really good, but I just don't see it as a movie. I mean, I think it'd be better off as a new TV series than a movie. But all in all, this was really good. Having Marty Freeman here, playing Arthur Dent, he did a pretty good job. The late, great Alan Rickman, who did the voice of Marvin, the manically depressed robot, he did a good job playing a depressed robot. And also the legendary, hilarious Stephen Fry narrating the show, doing the voice of the book. And of course, Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell, he did Safe Up Evilbrox pretty good. And I kind of like it where instead of having another head on his shoulder, he has another head under his shin. And my favorite scene in that movie was this. Hi, Earthman. What is your name? Arthur. Yes, Arthur. Got the shoes from that planet. Don't tell Trillian about Earth, because if you do, I'll pull your spleen out through your throat. That was hilarious. But the only actor I do have a problem with in this movie is the actor... Oh yeah, I forgot. Zoe Dischannel? Zoe Dischannel? That is her name. Right here. She played Trisha McMillan. She did a good part, but I think it would be better off as... I think she'll be better off as if Catherine Zeta-Jones plays her. But that's just my opinion. But to me, I think she did a good job playing Trisha McMillan and have the connection between Arthur and Trisha. Even though it didn't show that in the series here, but it did show it here. But according to the latest series of the book, Arthur did hook up with Trisha McMillan in the original novel, and then she ditches him with Mighty Thor. Seriously? Mighty Thor? First Trisha McMillan, then Natalie Portman. Could Thor ever stop being a chick magnet? But the only actor I do have a problem in this movie is the actor who played Ford Prefect. And it's Mos Def. Seriously, I mean, his performance of Ford Prefect, I mean, he didn't act pretty good in that movie. I mean his performance is... I mean, the only movie I say that he was really good at, the only movie that Mos Def is really good at, is playing Chuck Berry in Cadillac Studio Movie. You know, the movie about Detroit where there's a radio station and gives out, and the owner of the station gives all the singers Cadillacs. I mean, why Mos Def? I mean, they should pick somebody better than Mos Def. I mean, I'm not the kind of person who likes to cast people, although I did talk about Catherine Zeta-Jones, but the only person who I think would have been perfect to play Ford Prefect is none other than David Tennant from Doctor Who. I think David Tennant would have been perfect to play Ford Prefect. And that's my, and that's all I'm saying here. I mean, why not have one of the actors who play the Doctor in Doctor Who play Ford Prefect? And he's my favorite character. Heck, even I would like to play him. I mean, heck, I even digitally made this picture here. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, David Tennant as Ford Prefect. And for those of you who wants to see this picture online, I'm going to post this picture under my review, in case some of you wants to have a look. And sorry for misspelling Ford. Well, so, for any of you who are now getting interested in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, go ahead and watch the movie if you like. I mean, it's good enough for humor. But if you can't catch up with all of this, just find the TV series, because it's a lot better. Or just read the book. Find the book of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and read it. It'll be a lot better. And that is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Oh yeah, and here's the most crazy thing of all. There was a most supercomputer in the planet called Magrathea, created by rich aliens from other galaxies, and they create other planets. And they're planning to make a new Earth. They made a supercomputer who would give them this ultimate question they have. I mean, the ultimate question is life, universe, and everything. And the computer tell them to wait for years until the computer gives them the answer. And the answer is 42. Whap, 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 whap. 42? But of course it turns out that Earth has the ultimate question. But sadly, Vogons had to destroy it. Shows what they know, don't it? But you know, sometimes some people say that dreams can happen. But not all dreams can happen. I mean, it's not like I just wake up out of bed and all of a sudden I have somebody knocking in my door, and all of a sudden Selena Gomez shows up and she tells me, "I'm totally over with this Justin Bieber kid. I'm all yours, Grim." That's right. I like Selena Gomez. Because I think she's hot. Did it get hot in here or just me? Anyway, this is my review for the day, folks, of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So if any of you love this review, please leave a comment down below, hit like, subscribe. If you watch this video on Facebook, share it to your friends and make sure they get a laugh. Oh, and for those of you who are wondering, am I going to review Spider-Man or not? It's up to you, fans. So if any of you want me to review Spider-Man, it's your time to vote. Yes or no for Spider-Man, if you want me to review it or not. Even though I don't like Spider-Man, but I know some of you fans are huge. I know some of you are huge fan of Spider-Man, so I think I'm going to review Spider-Man just for your pleasure. So, hit yes or no for Spider-Man, and I'll see what I can do. But for now on, I'm going to continue on reviewing other things I have on my plate, because my plate's always been full. Reviewer's work is never done, right? So, this is Michael Graham, aka Multi-Voice Reviewer, or the Doctor. Actually, what would you think if I was an alien from another planet? Could it make sense for all of you because how different I am? But I'm not here to destroy Earth. I love this planet. I mean, this planet, as I can say, it's mostly harmless. Sure, there's some bad things in certain states and countries, but all in all, this planet is definitely mostly harmless. So, thanks for all of you for watching, and see you soon.